Hi, my name is Allison and I make stuff, and I'm back with my December makes. I didn't think I was going to get a lot of sewing done this month because December always is a time where I'm very introspective, thinking about how my year was, spending time with people I care about, and I'm very surprised I actually did get a decent amount of sewing done. And I also did a lot of other extraneous crafts, things that, take maybe an hour, half an hour, something I can do when I have some free time. So there's going to be a lot of those at the end of the video. Again, mostly personal care related, so I won't give too many spoilers, but I have a big pile of them next to me and I'm excited to show you what they are. But first, my sewing makes. My first sewing make is going to be my entry for the Little Red Dress project. I ended up finishing it a day late because hopefully you cannot see how gross this is, but I have this cut on my hand. It was really, really bad and my hand was kind of out of commission when it came to sewing. I had to wear this big bandage on it because my cut is on the palm of my hand. I won't get into much detail with that because it's kind of gross. But anyways, this is my entry for the Little Red Dress project. It's hard to say. I'm bad at tongue twisters apparently. I posted a picture on Instagram anyways, so if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this. I like the majority of it, but I totally rushed the back. As you can see, my zipper, I did not have a long enough zipper, so I just did the zipper as well as I could, down to the hip point so I could actually get the dress on. And then I just added a little hook and eye, and this is incredibly linty, which is great. Preparation, Allison. So yeah, I love the way that it looks from the front when I wear it. It has this nice sweetheart neckline. It's the same neckline I used on my dress I did, I want to say last month or the month before. It was plaid. That one was a wrap dress. I used the same pattern and I just kind of added zipper allowance instead of adding the wrap, because I wanted to make this actually a wrap dress, but I did not have enough fabric to do the half circle skirt and the wrap on the top. So I compromised and I did the half circle skirt, which I think is just really flattering on my figure. And then I just did a plain zipper back. And I can definitely take this zipper out and add one that is long enough. I've been finding that I've been running out of zippers. I usually just buy a handful of invisible zippers, and I don't usually use zippers that match the right color, and I usually don't really care. So I went out after I finished this project and got a handful of invisible zippers. So hopefully this will never happen again. And a lot of them are really long too, which is great because apparently I have a really long back, because this is just, this is a pretty high neckline. But I would have needed a really, really long zipper to fit all the way down to a hip point where I could actually get the dress on. But if you look at it from the front, it's really great. I fully lined the bodice. I did not fully line the skirt though. Oh, and I lined the waistband, and like I said, I was running out of fabric. So I used some fun fabric for the waistband. This is a Rifle Paper Company fabric, and this is, oh my god, I did line the skirt. How did I forget that? I lined the skirt. I did not hem the lining of the skirt because I was running out of time. I probably could have just not told you that, but I like to be honest around here. Anyways, so I lined the waistband in this really fun fabric, also kind of red, though this is a print, from Rifle Paper Company from their Alice in Wonderland series. So I thought that was cute, a little surprise on the inside. And then I lined the skirt, which I totally forgot about. And yeah, it hits knee length-ish, like a very classic length for things that I make for myself. And I really like it. So I think I'm going to, I make these plans to fix the things that I've made in the past, and I never do it. But I would love to go back and add a better size zipper for this, so the back isn't so wonky. I could maybe add like the little elastic loops with buttons instead. This being kind of like open and loosey-goosey doesn't quite work because it is a fitted bodice. It just kind of like buckles out weird. So yeah, I'm all in all pretty happy with how this turned out. I really like how the bodice looks, so I'm glad I have another excuse to make another one, because I would love to just keep making bodices similar to this because it is the sweetheart neckline to me just like screams retro, and I'm in this kind of like retro moment right now. So I really love how this turned out. So I'm actually going in chronological order, totally accidentally, but this is the next make that I made this month. It also has, it's really hard to see because it's plaid, but it also has a sweetheart neckline. I based this off of the sweetheart neckline of the dress I just showed you, but I kind of softened the lines. So instead of being like a really harsh like angle and then go into the neck bodice part, I softened it, and I really, really love how this looks. This is a really fun plaid I got on fabric.com for pretty inexpensive. It's a flannel. It's so comfortable to wear. I love how I did the accent on the waistband where it's caught on the bias. Now you will see in the middle of this, I totally missed an opportunity for pattern matching. I could have totally done this yellow line all the way down. Regrets. So many regrets about that. But I think it still looks really cute, and as long as no one points that out to me, I will be happy to wear this. And I did the zipper correctly, as in I had the right length zipper, and I knew from doing the red dress that I didn't have any zippers the right length, so I ended up scooping down this neckline just so that it would look nicer and the zipper would be finished correctly. I did a facing on this instead of fully lining. So there's my facing, just overlocked on the edge of the self. And I really, really like this. It also has this half circle skirt. I'm guessing you can sense the theme of my life, which is right now half circle skirts. And yeah, I think like the parts where I could do some interesting or some pattern matching, I did a decent job. So this isn't like amazing because the color is actually different on both sides, but the white lines go across nicely with the zipper. And then on the skirt, I think as well, well, that's not as good because you're missing the white line, but down the center. But I think, you know, working with plaid is always a really fun challenge, and I think I rose to the opportunity fairly well. So patting myself on the back for that one. So yeah, this was my second make. For my last sewing make of the month, I used some of the fabric that I had bought in my Britex moving sale haul that I posted. I got this really interesting, I believe it's a jacquard fabric, and I thought this was going to be a dream to work with. I like working with stiff fabrics. I like working with fabrics that have structure, but this was actually not the best. I think it's synthetic. It did not want to iron, so I ironed everything like 8 times, but as you can see, it's kind of like buckling in the side seam. For some reason, the waistband in the back like also kind of juts out, even though I believe my waistband was cut straight. It's a learning curve, I guess, to work with this fabric. It had more opinions than I wanted it to have, so it didn't really... The back, actually, I was able to get it to lay pretty flat with, again, invisible zippers. My favorite thing in the world. But it looks cute when I'm wearing it with like a t-shirt, so I'll probably continue to wear it, but I'm kind of bummed out with how it turned out. I do like this style that I made. I took a skirt draft that I created and I eased out the dart in the front, so it kind of, you know, ballooned it out, and then it now has an A-line shape. And in the back, I eased out half of the dart because I have a large rear. If it had no dart, I thought it would fit kind of funky. I like to have at least a little bit of structure in the back. And I do like how that fits. I wish the waistband wasn't so bubbly and weird. Even after adding interfacing to the waistband, it wasn't stiff enough. I don't know why. So I ended up, it was just like a fold over waistband, but I ended up sewing a line in the seam on the top, some top stitching, just to like make sure that there was a waistband because this wasn't ironing very crisply. Yeah, so that's how it turned out. I'm still, you know, I'll still wear it and I think it looks cute. So could be worse maybe. The pattern is really funky and fun. And I think like for like a little A-line sort of mini skirt, it's a good style, but this was not fun fabric to work with at all. But you live and you learn. So yes, that has been all of my sewing makes, and now on to my super random personal care item-y makes. So this month has been all about making kind of like balms and salves and stuff like that. So let me start off with this container of mush. This is a big batch of salve base. This is made out of mango butter and olive oil and beeswax. Actually local beeswax I got at the farmer's market, so it smells amazing. So I made a big batch of salve. I use it as like a lotion or moisturizer for my body. I don't use it on my face because I don't like to get beeswax products on my face because I find that it breaks me out. I'm acne prone. Yeah, so this smells great, and I've been using it to make a bunch of like, you know, hand creams. I've been making this cuticle cream actually out of this and adding different kind of nutrient-y essential oils and things that smell good and just kind of playing around. And my nails are generally really brittle and they flake and it's just not good. But right now they look pretty decent. I've been using it for a couple days, so that's fun, and I'll keep probably doing that. I figure if I make a big batch like this, I can just kind of scoop some out, melt it down, add some stuff to it, have some fun, and not have to remake a base every time. That way I can do like quick 10-minute craft projects. But along that line, I also made some other bases. This is a Naked Lip Balm base, which is a recipe I got in the Humblebee and Me book that Marie, the creator of that, came out with recently, that I bought myself as a early Christmas gift. Here it is right here. Bought this myself. Really great, fantastic resource for skincare and all sorts of like makeup DIY fun. So I made a big batch of the Naked Lip Balm, which is one of her recipes. I have made a bunch of lip balms out of this, but they're like scattered about everywhere, which is what happens to me whenever I make lip balm. They just like end up in every pocket and bag and desk drawer. But here's the rest of the base I have. That way, once again, I can just kind of melt some down, add some micas and smelly stuff, and there you go. And then also I've made some of the lipstick base, and here's a small little tub I made of it. It said lipstick base on it in Sharpie, but it's rubbed off a little bit. Yeah, so this is, I think this is the vegan one. I'll have to double check my notes. I also made another batch of soap, which I have covered because it's fairly fresh and I'm trying to keep it from getting soda ash on it. It's still in the mold because I made it 2 days ago, and I don't use hardeners very often, so I don't use sodium lactate. Sometimes I add some salt to my water so it molds faster, but I find that I should just learn to be patient, and this is a lesson in learning to be patient for me, because if you unmold it too quickly, or if it's too soft when you unmold it, you get some like drag lines and it just doesn't look as nice. So this is still going to be in the mold for probably 2 more days. I do use my recipe is 50% olive oil, so it's not the hardest recipe, like hard as in like rock hard. So I really do need to let this rest. But once I do unmold it, the top is this really pretty baby blue, and the bottom half, I'm hoping I'll get a nice clean separation, should be a nice light sage. So I'm really excited. It smells like, it's rosemary mint scented, and it smells so good. Once again, obsessed with rosemary. Rosemary is such a nostalgic scent for me, so everything rosemary is totally fine in my book. Now, my last make of the month is super random, but it's back here. I'll grab it. My sewing machine has this little felt disc. Well, this is the one I made, but had a little red felt disc, and it was just getting so torn up. So I decided I needed to make a new felt disc to sit underneath my thread on my machine. So there's the bigger thread, and then, you know, little felt disc. So I got some, you know, cute heather gray felt, and I actually ended up gluing 2 layers together because one layer on its own wasn't stiff enough and I didn't think it was gonna be strong enough. I probably actually have the old one in here. Oh, I do. Here's the old one. It's like really torn up. I'm sure someone else just made this too. So here's the new one. So I'm pretty happy with it, and actually the color kind of matches my sewing machine a little bit more. It's ridiculous how much time I spent picking out a color to go on my tiny felt disc to go on my sewing machine, but my sewing machine is this beautiful blue color and I think it goes pretty nicely, so I'm happy with that. So that's my last really super duper random make of the month. I hope you enjoyed looking at all the things I made in December, and I'm really excited to see what I make in the new year. I hope that everyone has a very safe and fun new year, so I hope I will see you all in the new year.